Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. As you guys saw, I made my cafecito. Got my pan dulce with me. So how about let's spill that cafecito. Sorry for the cheesy intro. I had to. So a while back, I did ask you guys on Instagram and Twitter to ask me a couple questions about myself, stuff you guys want to know, or for those that know me, stuff you guys wanted me to kind of follow up on. So I'm gonna go ahead and do. It's about 13 questions, and I'll go ahead and do those. So, about me. My name is Hector Leiva, as most of you guys know. I am 23 years old. I live in Los Angeles, California. I am an LA native. I've been living here since I was 2 years old. And what do I do for a living? I am a full-time college student, as well as a full-time behavior technician. My major is early childhood education. I do hope to one day become a teacher, or if not, continue further my path in working with kids with special needs. Who inspires me? So I do have a couple of people that inspire me. One of them, my top one, would be my dad. He did come to the U.S. before he brought me and my mom along, and he worked his butt off, settled in, got a house for us. Still working, 49 years old and still working, and pushes through every day just to make sure, me and my mom have everything that we need. So he's definitely up there on the list. Another person that inspires me would have to be, now you guys will learn about this as you guys follow along, or if you guys have me on my socials, is Sebastian Lejet. He is a soccer player for the LA Galaxy and my all-time favorite soccer player. I'm not a big Messi Ronaldo fan. Sebastian Lejet to me is, my favorite player and will probably always be. I've followed him since his Everton days, and now that he's here with the LA Galaxy, closer to home, I actually did meet him 3 years ago. Got to talk to him a little bit. He's really chill, really down to earth, and I'm going to a Galaxy game on Sunday, so hopefully I get to chat with him again. But the reason why he inspires me is, for those of you guys don't know, he plays for the U.S. men's national team as well. He suffered an injury which took him out for a really long time, but he worked his butt off. He on and off the field, rehab, training, all that stuff, and came back strong. And he's, every player has a slump, and he came up from that slump, and now he's doing his putting in that work for LA Galaxy. So yeah, shout out Seva. But yeah, he kind of showed me like when you get knocked down, as cheesy as it sounds, just get back up, dust yourself off, and get back to it. Work hard. Another question is my favorite book. So I actually have two. I'm just looking at my book collection. I would say three favorite books that I currently are consider my favorite. The first one would be The Great Gatsby. I read that one back in high school, and I found it really interesting, like all the metaphors, everything, and just how Gatsby basically worked hard to be next to the person that he loved. If you guys hear that, those are my neighbors. Worked for the person that he loved, worked hard to be near the person that he loved, only to but other than that, I just really felt close to that book. I really like, not my favorite book, but I do like, so F. Scott Fitzgerald, the person that wrote Great Gatsby, actually wrote another book, The Beautiful and Damned. I definitely recommend you guys to check that one out. It is really great. Same thing, it's in the title, The Beautiful and Damned. Two things. And actually, I do have my other two favorite books with me, so let me go ahead and grab them for you guys. So I have my other two favorite books. So this one is Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. It's honestly, I've read this one a couple times. I just love, I'm a big play and musical fan. So Death of a Salesman, great play as well as a great booking. And honestly, I can't pinpoint basically what I really like about this book, but to me it showed me that yeah, you can work hard, get everything you want, but if you're not taking advantage of it, then what? What's the point? It's like, so I definitely recommend this one, Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. And this next book, I actually finished reading it about a month ago. I bought it a little over a month. I bought it a while back and finally got to reading it. It's Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey, the GOAT himself. It's a little bit of it's basically his memoir, autobiography and memoir, but he does it in a form of a journal, which that's how he wrote it. So here you can see like how he wrote it. That's how he wrote it, and he basically just made it into a book. And this one I like because I personally journal myself to let go of the demons that I have inside, jot thoughts down, stuff like that. So to me, it's like, damn, if I'm journaling, let's say I become someone, right? I can publish that book like Matthew McConaughey. But to me, this book, 10 out of 10, definitely recommend. Once again, it's Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey and Death of a Salesman. And the last book that I actually like is, and I thought I had it with me, but I think it's back in the office, is The Little Prince. The Little Prince is a book that my mom read to me when I was younger. It's originally a French book, and she also read it to me in Spanish, and I have the English book. So it's I'm pretty sure it's translated in other languages, but it originated in French and then went to Spanish and English. So in French, it's Le Petit Prince. Pretty sure I butchered Prince. In Spanish, it's El Principito, and in English, The Little Prince. I actually want to get a tattoo of one of the quotes. But I'll just give you guys like a quick little scoop of it. So they ask him to draw the main character to draw, and he draws what looks like a hat, but to him, it's not a hat. It's a boa constrictor eating an elephant, and he goes deeper into that. So it's a really great read. I recommend it. Favorite movie. Ooh. So for those of you guys that don't know, I am huge on movies. I love going to the movie theater, or if not on streaming services, but I'm really big cinema freak. But my two favorite movies at the moment would have to be The Irishman. Great movie. It's actually on Netflix, and it's based on one of the books I have, Do You Paint Houses, which is based on a true story. So it's all real. Maybe a couple like, fake stuff to add in, the intrigueness. It's a film. It's a movie, so they have to add a little bit. But the book is really great as well. The movie is The Irishman. It features a lot of great actors. Like Martin Scorsese. I'm pretty sure I butchered that. And it's great. There's one more actor, but I can't remember the name. But really great movie. Al Pacino's in there too. So you got Al Pacino in the movie. It's definitely gonna be great. And then another movie. It's a little more recent movie. It's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Brad Pitt. Oh my God, Leonardo DiCaprio. That one. It's a great movie by the great director Quentin Tarantino. I love Tarantino's films. So this one is really great. For the ones that haven't seen it, it does take place here in Hollywood, but it's back in the day around the Charles Manson days, where he had his whole cult and stuff. And it's really good. It's kind of more relaxing in the beginning. You get to see how it was back then, and then it really grabs you at the end. And actually, one of my old supervisor, he actually told me that it was based on a true story. I didn't know this at first. I just thought, oh, cool, Quentin Tarantino film, let me watch it. And I had seen it like maybe 2 times before I talked to him about it. And yeah, it's based on, as you guys know, Charles Manson. Had this cult, and he went up to Cielo Drive and killed Sharon Tate and a couple of her friends, very, very brutally. If you guys want to look more into it, just search up Charles Manson murders. Pretty sure it'll pop up, or watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But the reason why I like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is because in true Quentin Tarantino fashion, he gives, in this case, the person that was going to be the victim comes out victorious. So he gives it that twist that you really don't expect. So 10 out of 10, definitely go and watch it. Another question is, what do I want to do when I grow up? I mean, I'm pretty much almost grown up already. I would say I'm 23 years old, going to be 24 in January. But ideally my goal is to become a teacher, elementary school teacher. If not be a teacher for kids with special needs, or continue in this field that I'm in right now. It's all three are great, very rewarding, and really great. Another question. If I speak Spanish, claro que sí, hablo español. Como lo dije antes, yo nací en Guatemala y a los 2 años vine aquí a los Estados Unidos. Entonces sí hablo español. Con mis papás he hablado español. Siempre en la casa era hablar español, y al salir a la escuela con mis amigos ya era inglés. Entonces el español sí lo hablo bien. Y en la high school tomé español como avanzado, y mi profesora era de España. Entonces, aparte de hablar pues el español normal, el de usted, tú, vos, también hablo un poquito del vosotros, pero ese todavía me cuesta. Pero sí sé hablar español, escribirlo y leerlo. Para los que miran en español les voy a recapitular un poco de lo que he hablado antes. Entonces, para los que no me conozcan, mi nombre es Héctor y tengo 23 años, vivo aquí en Los Ángeles. Las personas que me inspiran es mi papá y un jugador de fútbol, Sebastian Lejet. Mi libro favorito es El Principito, The Great Gatsby, Death of a Salesman y Green Lights, Luces Verdes. Los otros dos no sé cómo pronunciarlos en español, entonces mil disculpas. Y mis películas favoritas son El Irlandés con Al Pacino, esta está en Netflix, y Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Hace una vez en Hollywood. Buenas películas, pero sí, he visto que mucha gente en español también mira mis videos, entonces voy a procurar hablar un poquito más de español para pues no perderlos a ustedes y para que se puedan enterar también un poco de mi vida. Pero para responder a esa pregunta, sí hablo español. Alright, dream vacation. So I'm pretty simple when it comes to life. I don't like, big fancy vacations. One day I do dream of visiting Hawaii, but other than that, I would say just getting a house in Palm Springs and relaxing. I did that last October actually. Back in 2020, I rented an Airbnb with my parents and my girlfriend, and we just took off for the weekend. It was really great. We're in the pandemic, so it was nice to get away from home, even though we went to another house. But it was just great. Like, it was really quiet, relaxing. I would wake up, hop in the pool, get out, cook some breakfast, eat breakfast, back in the pool, shower, and then go explore the town a little bit. It's a small town, so definitely would go back to Palm Springs. I think that would be my dream vacation. Or if I wanted to go something crazy, definitely Tokyo. I would love to go to Tokyo in Japan. Hopefully that happens one day. My favorite hobbies. So I do have a couple favorite hobbies. One of them is going to Disneyland with my girlfriend. Pre-pandemic, I would have the annual pass, and since she works there, she would, go in whenever she could. So we would always go. That's actually how we met, and our first date was to Disneyland. So it's become part of our tradition. But yeah, that's one of my hobbies. We don't do it as often now because that dream key is really expensive. As well as for her, they blocked her off a certain amount of days. So when we go, it's because she checked, there was an open reservation, and we're like, all right, let's go. It's a right then and there moment. Another hobby of mine is hiking. I normally hike with my boy Gio. I've hiked with Danny as well, one of my other friends. But normally we'll go hike, very basic places. I've done Runyon, the Hollywood Sign, Culver City Steps. I did one more with one of my other friends, but I don't remember. It was in Whittier, but I don't remember where was the name of it. But I'm always up for a good hike. So if you guys have any hike recommendations where I should check out, definitely drop them down in the comments. And another thing is basically going to the beach, reconnecting with nature. I'm huge when I go to the beach. I hear the waves, smell the water. It just brings me to peace. I'm relaxed. And another thing is taking pictures. I take pictures with a film camera, 35 millimeter film camera. Right now, I do use the Fujifilm one-time use film cameras, but I am planning on getting an actual film camera. I've been eyeing a couple, but I just can't seem to find the right one. But once I find it, I'll have a solid film camera. Which, gonna do a little plug right here. I actually have a photography Instagram page. It's called Hector'sDisposables.jpg. It's in my bio for my main Instagram. So if you guys want to go check it out, I post most of my pictures there. I do have like 5, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 film cameras I do have to take to develop. So I'll be posting a lot once I get those developed. Moving on to another question. So favorite food. My favorite food, it's a little tough one, but obviously my mom's cooking. No one can beat my mom's cooking in my opinion. All the Guatemalan typical Guatemalan dishes. She's picked up like other dishes, and to me they're bomb. I think that's one thing I miss about moving out. Just getting to eat my mom's food every day, but she hooks it up every now and then, and I'm trying my best to learn a couple so I can cook them and bring on the tradition. Also, Korean barbecue. So me and my girlfriend are always going to Korean barbecue. For me, Korean barbecue is bomb, but I can only eat so much of it before I feel like I'm gonna blow up. But Korean barbecue, I normally go to two different spots, but I'm always down to check out other spots. I also love sushi. Yes, sashimi, the raw fish, as well as rolls. But I love it all. It's bomb. Like I said, I want to go to Tokyo, so Japanese food is actually one of the reasons why I want to go to Tokyo, as well as exploring more of their culture. But sushi is chef's kiss. I also love Chinese food. You can always catch me trying to get Chinese food if you ask me where I want to eat. And Mexican food, obviously living in LA, there's a lot of Mexican culture. So I love me some chilaquiles, carne asada, carnitas, pambazos, tacos. My mouth got water just talking about them. But one last thing that I do like is my dad's barbecue. So if you guys have not been over, my dad cooks bomb carne asada. And him and my neighbor actually invested in a smoker, so they've done brisket, tri-tip, smoked it. Bomb. My dad has a secret recipe too to grill, to marinate the carne, and it's bomb. They also do make some pretty bomb Philly cheese steak sandwiches. So yeah, that's definitely on my list. Another question is, have you ever met a celebrity? So I've met a couple. So like I did mention before, I did meet Sebastian Lejet at a Galaxy game. Had a chat with him. I met Nick Cannon. He was shopping. I think it was at Citadel. I ran into him. I've met another YouTuber slash artist, Scotty Sire. Let me see who else. I know I live in LA, but celebrities aren't just walking around every corner. But the last one, Matt Kemp. I met Matt Kemp back when he was a Dodger. I think that would be it. At least that I can think of. Do I miss something about my childhood? Ooh, that was pretty deep, especially right now since I moved. Something that I miss about my childhood is, I think, just the simplicity of life. I mean, now I wake up, go to work, come back, do homework, cook dinner if it's my turn to cook dinner, clean around the apartment, go to class, finish cleaning, eat dinner, shower, go to bed. So it's more of a routine. But back when I was younger, I would wake up, go to school, come back, I would either at baseball practice, karate, basketball, soccer, whatever season it was. Come back, do homework. I would have toys like. So a little background about that. I used to be huge on WWE. I had a trunk. I still have it actually. It's in the garage. I had a trunk load of WWE action figures, belts, all that stuff. So I would love playing with that. I also had. I can't remember the name of them, but they're action figures and they had like big feet, and they would be like firefighters, police, men, all that. I can't remember the name, but those were my favorite toys as well. And now it's just it's tougher to find time to relax. You're always working, studying, adulting, basically. So one thing that I do miss is how easy it was, or maybe I don't want to say how easy it was, because obviously, there was problems along the way. But I would say how simpler. Yeah, that's the word. It was simpler. Another thing I miss is my grandparents. For some of you guys that don't know, I did lose two grandparents last year. Um, my grandpa from my dad's side, um, Victor Manuel, he passed March 31st of last year. Um, and he lived here, so it was tough. I saw him getting carried out by the paramedics. Due to the pandemic, we couldn't go to the hospital with him, so to get the call the next day saying that he had passed was tough. And then my grandma from my mom's side, I would call her Mama Ana. She passed as well, back in June. So basically 3 months apart. But unfortunately, she did live in Guatemala, so I did not get to say my goodbyes. In reality, even here to my grandpa, I didn't get to say my goodbyes. Something that because of the pandemic. But yeah, I know they're watching over me, but that's really one thing I miss, having my whole family over. Like, yeah, my family comes over, but it's not the same without them. Just gonna get some coffee before I start shedding tears. Um, but yeah, I would say my whole family. And one last thing that I do miss, we have to be just having not a stress-free life, because with my anxiety and all that, I've always been very like stressed, but having not a lot to worry about. As an adult, you're always worrying if you have enough money for rent, if you have food in your fridge, if you're fine, you're healthy. Which, going back, for some of you guys that don't know, I was diagnosed a type 2 diabetic last year. So I worked my butt off, eating healthy and all that. And as of a month ago, I actually received a call from my doctor because I went for my my checkup, and she said that there's no sign of diabetes left. It's in remission. I think that's the term she used. But basically, when they do the test, there's like levels. There's not diabetic, pre-diabetic, diabetic, highly diabetic, and so forth. And I was in the diabetic section, and this last test, I'm not even pre-diabetic. I'm in the average levels. So it's something I'm proud of, happy of. But that was just one big stressor. Um, but yeah, moving on. Another question is coffee or tea. So I'm drinking coffee. I'm a big coffee person. Normally cold brew, but I also love tea. English breakfast tea and yerba mate. So if you guys ever see on my social medias that I have this cup that has some other green stuff in there that you guys might think is something else, it's actually yerba mate. It's this Argentinian tea that you drink through in a gourd, and the straw actually has a special filter because the tea leaves are in the cup, and therefore you're drinking it, and the straw filters just the tea, so you don't get any of the tea leaves. But yeah, I'm both coffee and tea type of person. Anything coffee, I would say cold, best, but tea I can have it any day. One last question is, why did you decide to do a YouTube channel? So I touched up about this. I think in the last video, and in that podcast I told you guys I came out on. But I'll give you guys a little deeper. So back in 2016, I was kind of going through this slump, and I found a couple YouTubers, the Vlog Squad, Mr. Beast, and I noticed how much they were filming, having fun and all that. but also I kind of caught the idea that they're making memories that when they got old, maybe lost their memory, they had that to see. And that's something I really wanted to do. I had it on paper a lot. If you guys go to my channel, it says, established, I think, 2016. And I was going to do it, but I really got caught up with school, work. And then last year happened. Fell into a little bit of a depression. My anxiety rose. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. With having my grandparents pass, I realized, there was some pictures, some videos of them. So I want, my future family to have that, whether it's videos, these YouTube videos, pictures, all the pictures I'm taking, they have something to, remember me. Or be like, oh, I remember when we did this. I want to remember that too. So aside from, doing it just for fun, I want to show my life, I also want to do it for the memories. I think that's, the main reason why. Yeah. And then I believe that's all the questions we have for this time. So I'll go ahead and leave it at that. Alright, you guys, thank you guys for reaching the end of the video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you guys liked it. I did, as promised, post another video in a week. I'm going to go ahead and try to post another one next week. I will go ahead and try my best. I do have a couple things coming up next week, so I might get a little busy, but definitely go check out my other social medias. I post on my Instagram's story a lot, more of the vlog there, whether it's pre-shooting, during, or post, or just stuff I do daily. So definitely go ahead and check that out. I'll leave my socials down in the description below. Make sure to leave a like, and I hope you guys liked the video, and I'll see you guys next week.